I'm Brian Bisbee from Cowboy Harley-Davidson of Austin. We will now be installing a tube in the front wheel of a motorcycle. You need to pull the valve core out first. It's going to let all the air out of the tire. Now we need to break the bead. This is the bead breaker. We have to put the tire in there to break the bead off of the rim. We just have to rotate it around. Make sure we get the tire off the rim all the way around. Many different ways that you can go about doing this without a machine. None of them are very easy. There are bead breakers that they make that are manual that will do it, that you can get at some places, but generally, this is why you bring them into a shop. We're going to put the wheel in the tire machine with the brake disc up. Tighten our clamps. That's holding the wheel in the machine. We need to take our valve stem nut off. Make sure we save that. Okay. Now we'll be removing the tire from the rim. Bring this arm over on the machine. Squash it down. We get our tire iron. It's got a hooked end for removing the tires. Spray some soap around the bead to help slip it off the rim. We're going to put this under the bead and we're going to pull the tire. You have to push the tire down into what's called the drop center of the rim, which loosens up the tire bead. And then we're going to pull this tire up. The machine rotates and takes the tire off. That's the upper bead of the tire is now off. We're removing this tool from the tire. We're going to remove our tube. Shove the valve stem through. There's our inner tube. Now we need our tube. We need to rotate our rim to where the valve stem hole is facing us. It's right here. We need to start with the valve stem. Put it in the tube, in the rim. We're going to go around the tire, tucking the tube in, making sure that you don't fold it or pinch it. All right, we get the tube tucked all the way in the rim. We need to get our valve stem through the hole. We get the valve stem in the hole. Okay, pull our valve stem through. We put our valve stem nut on. Tighten it. We don't want to tighten this nut all the way because we want to let some more air out of the rim when we're mounting the tire. So just snug it. Okay. Now we're going to put the top bead of the tire in the rim. We have a balance dot, which is this white paint dot that's on the tire. This dot needs to line up with the valve stem. The white balance dot has to line up with the valve stem. We have to put our valve stem at the head of the tool. We push this bead down, get this tool in there, lock it in. Now what we want to do is we want the tire bead to go underneath this tool so it mounts it on the rim. So in order to do that, we rotate it around, and our bead popped down under the top of the rim. We're now going to remove the tool. We need to make sure that our balance dot lines up with our valve stem. And we got to remove the tire from the machine. Now we're going to fill the tire with air, seat the beads. You need to have your valve stem ready, your valve core ready to put into the valve stem. We're going to fill it with air, seat the beads. That popping meant that the beads seated. We're going to put our valve core in, tighten it. Now we're going to fill our tire to our pressure. This one is going to be 32 pounds. 32 pounds. Now we need to tighten our tube nut, which is this nut right here. Okay, and we need to put our valve stem cap on. I'm Brian Bismee from Cowboy Harley Davidson of Austin. That was installing a tube in the front wheel of a motorcycle.